Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Reading from Srimad Bhagavad Gita, original, chapter number 3, text number 36, Karma Yoga. Sri Arjuna Uvacha Athakkena Prayuktoyam Pabam Charati Purushaha Anechannabi Vaishnaya Baladiva Niyojidaha. After a long time silence and a careful listening of Krishna's statements, Arjuna now asking one more question to Lord Sri Krishna. Arjuna Uvacha. Arjuna said, Athakkena Prayuktoyam. Prayukta means by force. Pavam Chariti Purushaha. Man engaged in sinful activities by force. Anechannabi Varshnaya. Anechannabi means the man who commits sinful activities, he is not so much or he was not so much interested in committing that sinful activity. Anechannabi Varshnaya. Varshnaya means descendant of Vrishni dynasty. Lord Krishna is also, along with the Yadu dynasty, he is also part of the Vrishni dynasty, right? So mother is from one dynasty, father is another dynasty, grandfather is from different dynasty. So like that, the Lord is also descendant of Vrishni. Anechannabi means without one's own desire. Baladiva niyojidaha. He is dragged to commit sinful activities. What is that thing that makes that person very sinful against one's own will? This is the question. And what are the sinful activities? It is simply a temptation for committing some erroneous actions which turn into sinful activity, and that person would be punished. So, how and what is making him to render that service without his own will? And most of the time, young man is dragged to do all these things. The children, they don't do it. Old man, grown up, realized they may not do it. And a young man and a young woman, because of their heart nature, heart means they are still active, very active. Because of that nature, they may go and commit sinful activities by force. According to the Acharyas, the powerful sin that drags an young man or a young woman is the attraction for another man's wife or another woman's husband. That is the attachment, also aversion sometimes. After they indulge in those activities, they become remorseful. They want to repent for it. It actually drags them to commit that kind of activities. They don't want to drink, but they are forced to drink because of the temptation. They don't want to kill poor animals, but they are forced to kill animals. Even in the religious field, they kill animals and try to offer to that particular deity and eat it. So these are sinful activities. Sometimes people may not like it, but because they are in a community, they are in a family, one man likes this and another man may not like that. And the person who doesn't like, he is dragged by the people, those who like that. And mainly is sexual desires. Many people commit sinful activities in this world. The main thing in the human society is they do not follow the laws and orders, even given by the government, which is a manifested thing, which one can see easily. God's law is very subtle. They are unable to see God, so they speak about what? God's law. We don't even see Him. Just like in a state who is always against the leader of the nation, the leader may not want to visit that place because there are no friends, there are no people who follows his order or like him. In that place, the leader doesn't have any business. Similarly, when people in general turn into atheists, always questioning and cross-questioning the authority of God, even if God comes, how will they recognize? So the Lord doesn't advent in that place, rectify the problems people facing there. So that is the reason the Supreme Lord then and there would not advent. Sometimes He sends His messenger, sometimes He sends confidential devotees to rectify the situations. When things goes above everyone's control, even Brahma's and Lord Shiva's control, that is the time the Supreme Lord actually advent. When people become so sinful, they are unable to see the authority of God or personality of Godhead. So because of that, they don't adhere or abide by God's laws. Government laws are always there. People don't want to follow that also. It's not that everyone in this country or any country follows strictly every rule set by the government, because people have a natural tendency to act whimsically. In that way they live. So here, these sinful activities are not from the viewpoint of government. The modern government allow the prostitution. The modern government allow killing animals and creating various farms for the meat purpose and domesticate the animals and kill them and eat them. Government may allow that people can drink alcohol and gamble as much they want. Why? Because they make money from these four sinful activities. There are excise duties, there are income taxes, there are sales taxes, there are property taxes, there are gambling taxes, right? Everyone who wins, ultimately, his 30% will be deducted by the government. Rest of it only is given to the winner. So in every field they make a lot of money, exporting, importing of the beef, chicken, animals, live animals also they export. So all these things are there. So they make money. So from their viewpoint, these are not sinful activities. But from God's viewpoint, these are sinful activities. That fermenting juices, adding sulfuric acid, making alcohol, making people eat tobacco. They say statutory warning that you will be collapsed, you will be destroyed, you will be injured or hospitalized by eating or drinking all these things. But still, Anichannavi Vashnaya, they are forced to do that. What is making these people forced to do that sinful activity even though they don't want? One thing is that government cooperate with the citizens so that the government can make money from their drinking and eating also. So if government doesn't cooperate, then people will not drink or eat, or they have to actually make it illegally. This is what once upon a time happened in India. The government stopped the drinking program or making the alcohol at all. And people illegally started making it in their house or in some remote place. They go and make and drink and crashes somewhere. So they thought, even though we have forbidden this, people are still doing it. So let us legalize it. At least we will get some taxes. So people also have to cooperate with the government. Government also have to cooperate with the people. So now we can actually see government is cooperating fully, but they have issued the warning. You may drink as much you want. The moment that you create troubles for others, you will be arrested. If they are going to keep these people for a long time in prison houses, it is difficult for them to maintain these people. So until they come back to the normal consciousness, they keep them in the jail, which is called probably misdemeanor, which is not a felony or something, intense crime, or it is just a small disobedience. So they keep them under control until this guy come back to the normal consciousness. Then they exonerate this guy. So that is the procedure. And woman things. And everyone, especially in the West, everyone is actually free to do whatever they want to do. Whether it's a husband or wife, or when their love is so intense, they try to stick with one another. But the moment the so-called love actually reduces, then they start pondering on other men. Oh, if I would have married that person, then I would have been like this. If I married that lady, my life would have been different. If I would have married that man, then my life would have been in heaven. All these hallucinations actually come and they start developing that desire. Dhyayad vishayan pumsaha sangasteshtu bhajayate. As soon as they start meditating on it, then attachment actually begins for that particular person, for that particular object. So in that way, they start committing sinful activities. So this is what Arjuna is asking. Even though they don't want it, the circumstances force them to commit sinful activities, and these people are not educated enough. They may have material education, but they may not have the spiritual education. The spiritual education, any of these things are not allowed. In spiritual life, you may pick one and stick with that person, which is also difficult nowadays because Kali's influence is so much that he influences every individual. Even a sane person with full knowledge is dragged to commit many different kinds of sinful activities. So Kali Yuga, the Kali Dev does all these things. But if you are sufficiently educated in spiritual knowledge, we can restrain from committing these sinful activities. There are many murders happening because of this. There are many accidents are taking place because of intoxication. There are many cancer and various diseases because of eating meat and drinking alcohol and all those things. There are so many psychological issues because of gambling, including trading and various other businesses. They gamble money. It's not that they're just walking into a casino and losing the money there. There are so many trading, there are so many businesses, there are so many investment schemes. They do invest money in all these areas and they lose. Hardly they gain. So these all create problems for them. We have heard about the husband killing the wife and children, and he himself also hangs because of the loss of money, because they don't have that kind of strong mind to live a courageous life even if they lose. They were trained to live only when they gain something. But the phenomenal world, which is the material world, is having all double standards. Always and everywhere is duality. Before we actually try to do, what will be my state of mind if I gain? What will be my state of mind if I lose? So in that way, we need to be educated in that department of knowledge. Spiritual education is there. When spiritual education comes, then there is no need for any of your material activities at all. Because Krishna is pure, and therefore all the activities that we render or surrender to the Supreme Lord is also pure activities. These kinds of gambling and running after a different man and different woman and running after chicken and sheep and goat, pig and cows and buffaloes and gambling or drinking alcohols, running for the best imported bottles are not allowed in Krishna consciousness. That is regulations and rules. Therefore, people don't worship Lord Krishna. Why? Restrictions. We don't want any restrictions. We want to be free to go to hell. A restriction means it will prevent me from going to hell and send me to heaven. I don't want that. That is our standard of life. So they are forced to commit all these sinful activities until they get a bona fide spiritual teacher. If a bona fide spiritual teacher is there, the restriction is this. By doing so, you will be a normal person, not an abnormal person, because of consumption of this. And he start ranting and become a crazy man. Doesn't even recognize who is what. Completely drunk, intoxicated by money, by so-called education. Because of power, they become very much intoxicated. So they are forced to do this because there is something working on their head due to their intense association with these inferior things. And Krishna is going to inform us what is that energy forcing you to commit something that you don't want to do. And it will go on until the end of the chapter. So, Lord is the ultimate knower of everything. He is a beautiful person and He has all remedies to take us out of this material world and put us in a platform where we will be completely happy without all these nasty things. So we are forced to do certain sinful activities, and all of our hands and legs are dipped inside. We need to get out of it. How do we do that? Lord will actually say from the next verse. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna.